Children, welcome you again to Affinity Digital to discuss the botany part of TEST-5. I hope you are doing well. So let us discuss this paper. So question number 1 is related to photosynthesis, and it is related to which topic of photosynthesis? Photorespiration. As you know that photorespiration is a wasteful, light dependent, wasteful respiratory process characterized by uptake of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide. And what is the name of the enzyme that starts photorespiration and dark reaction? The same enzyme starts photorespiration as well as also start dark reaction, and the enzyme is Rubisco, which is the most abundant protein on earth. Rubisco, to start dark reaction, it has to fix carbon dioxide. And under what condition Rubisco fixes carbon dioxide? The active site of Rubisco fixes carbon dioxide only when carbon dioxide concentration is more than oxygen concentration near the active site of Rubisco. Then in that case, Rubisco fixes carbon dioxide and start dark reaction. And product of dark reaction is sugars, that is carbohydrates. But at the same time, in C3 plants, photorespiration occurs under periods of high light intensity and high temperatures. Under high light intensity leads to high rate of light reaction. High rate of light reaction leads to high rate of oxygen evolution in the chloroplast. And this creates high oxygen concentration and low carbon dioxide concentration near the active site of Rubisco. So under these circumstances, the Rubisco of C3 plants fixes oxygen, not carbon dioxide, fixes oxygen and starts photorespiration. So when Rubisco is fixing oxygen, we say it is behaving as oxygenase. So when Rubisco fixes oxygen, it starts the wasteful respiratory process called photorespiration. And in photorespiration, during photorespiration, sugars are not synthesized. ATP are not synthesized. Rather, ATP is consumed in the process. So when photorespiration is occurring in a C3 plant, Rubisco is fixing oxygen, that means it is showing its oxygenase activity. So when photorespiration is occurring in a C3 plant, dark reaction stops because Rubisco is fixing oxygen, it is showing oxygenase activity. Okay, so during photorespiration, Rubisco is showing oxygenase activity. And at that time, dark reaction stops. When dark reaction stops, sugars are not synthesized in the plants. So the net production of carbohydrates ultimately is decreased due to the occurrence of photorespiration. Hence, productivity of C3 plants is less compared to C4 plants due to the presence of photorespiration in C3 plants. So let us look at the option. Let us see the question. Select the incorrect statement. Select the incorrect statement with regard to photorespiration. It occurs in C3 plants. Correct. It occurs only when concentration of oxygen is higher than carbon dioxide concentration in the active site of Rubisco, because as you know, active site of Rubisco can fix carbon dioxide, active site of Rubisco can bind carbon dioxide as well as oxygen, but Rubisco during photorespiration binds to oxygen when oxygen concentration is more than carbon dioxide concentration. So this is also correct. During photorespiration, Rubisco shows oxygenase activity. Correct. Photorespiration results in the synthesis of sugars and ATP. So this is wrong. So this will be the answer for this particular question. So this is during photorespiration, there is no synthesis of sugars nor ATP. Rather, ATP is consumed in the process. So moving on to the next question. Which of the given, this is a question on molecular basis of inheritance chapter. Which of the given are nucleotides of DNA? एक न्यूक्लियोटाइड में 3 कंपोनेंट होता है, एक नाइट्रोजिनस बेस प्लस ए पेंटोस सुगर which is covalently linked to a phosphate group. Phosphate makes a nucleotide. nucleotide. And what is the sugar in case of DNA? The sugar in case of DNA is deoxyribose and the sugar in case of RNA is ribose. So what is this? Deoxy. What is the full form of this? Deoxyadenosine monophosphate. Deoxy means deoxy has come from what? From the with respect to deoxyribose sugar. Okay. Excuse me. Acha. Deoxyadenosine monophosphate. It is a nucleotide present in what? DNA. So this should be the answer. So let us look at the other options. Adenosine monophosphate. Deoxy is not there. Adenosine monophosphate is a nucleotide present in RNA. Guanosine triphosphate is a nucleoside triphosphate. Nucleoside triphosphate, guanosine, it is not given as deoxyguanosine triphosphate. Guanosine triphosphate is a nucleoside triphosphate which is used as a substrate by substrate for RNA polymerase enzyme during transcription for the synthesis of RNA molecule. So this is a nucleoside triphosphate. So this cannot be the answer. This cannot be the answer because this is a nucleotide but present in RNA. And deoxyuridine monophosphate is never present. Okay, so this is not the answer. So answer will be only A, that is option number 3, which is a nucleotide of DNA. Option number 3. Okay, children, this is the option number 3. Moving on to the next question. Deoxyadenosine monophosphate is a nucleotide of DNA. Next question. Through the experiments of, this is another question on molecular basis of inheritance. Harche and Chase experiment के बारे में बोल रहा है इधर पे. Through the experiments, Alfred Harche and Martha Chase confirmed that DNA is the genetic material or hereditary material. Which method they use? Transformation of question option 1. Transformation of DNA in Streptococcus pneumoniae. So this transformation experiment was actually done by Griffith in 1928. So this is not the answer. So X-ray crystallography of DNA? No. Okay. Radio labeling of DNA and protein of a bacterial virus called T2 bacteriophage. So this is the answer. Use of heavy isotope of nitrogen, that is N15 in E. coli. That is not the answer. N15 was used by Matthew Meselson and Franklin Stell to prove the semi-conservative mode of DNA reverse. So this cannot be the answer. So answer will be option number 3. Moving on to the next question. So I have given here radioactive sulfur that was used by Alfred Harche and Martha Chase is sulfur के लिए sulfur 35 और phosphorus DNA तो label किया था with radioactive phosphorus, that is phosphorus 32. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 104. Which of the following statements is true for DNA replication? Okay, DNA replication always occurs in 5' to 3' direction in a template independent manner दिया है. DNA replication always occurs in a template dependent manner. Okay, so यहाँ पे क्या होना चाहिए? Template dependent manner. इसलिए ये option wrong है. So DNA replication is semi-conservative and semi-discontinuous because, as you know, this is correct. This is correct. Okay, because DNA replication is semi-conservative, means during DNA replication, after the two polynucleotide chain separates, after separating each of the polynucleotide chain acts as a template for the synthesis of new strand. And the new DNA strand, which is continuously synthesized in 5' to 3' direction, is called leading DNA strand. And the DNA strand, which is discontinuously synthesized as a series of short fragments called Okazaki fragments, that particular DNA strand is called lagging strand. So, with respect to the leading strand, synthesis is continuous, and with respect to the lagging strand, synthesis is what? Discontinuous. Hence, DNA replication is semi-discontinuous. And why it is semi-conservative? Because after a DNA molecule replicates, two daughter DNA molecules are formed, and in each of the daughter DNA molecule, one strand is parental strand, the other opposite strand is newly synthesized. This type of DNA replication is called semi-conservative mode of DNA replication. So DNA replication is semi-conservative and semi-discontinuous. So this is correct. Okay, this should be the answer. Okay, and this is the answer. Let us look, before we take the final answer, you should go through the other options also. DNA replication does not follow the principle of complementarity. Please remember, both transcription and DNA replication always is based on the rule of complementarity. So यहाँ पे क्या does not follow दिया, इसलिए wrong है. DNA dependent DNA polymerases that replicates DNA on their own they cannot initiate the process of DNA replication. The molecular structure of DNA dependent DNA polymerase is such that it cannot initiate DNA replication because DNA polymerase to start DNA replication always has an absolute requirement for the existence of a 3' OH to be present in an already existing strand. And this first 3' OH is provided to DNA polymerase enzyme by a very short RNA molecule called RNA primers, which are synthesized by enzyme primase. So DNA polymerase on their own cannot initiate DNA replication because of the requirement of the 3' OH. So यहाँ पे क्या दिया? Can. So it should be cannot initiate the process of DNA replication. So which one is true? So this is wrong. So the true statement is option number 2. So option number 2 is the answer. So यहाँ पे मैंने solution में पूरा लिख दिया. तो DNA replication always occurs in a template dependent manner in 5' to 3' direction. DNA replication is governed by the rule of complementarity. So and DNA replication because DNA polymerase cannot initiate the process of DNA replication because of the absolute requirement for the existence of a 3' OH to be present, which has to be present on an already existing strand. Okay, and this first 3' OH is provided to DNA polymerase enzyme to begin the process of DNA replication is provided by short RNA molecules called RNA primers synthesized by enzyme primase. So moving on to the next question, that is question number 105. A water body with higher amount of organic waste shows which one of the following features? Shows all the given features except. So, higher the amount of organic matter in wastewater, greater will be the rate of decomposition. And decomposition, as you know, it is basically a aerobic process. So, the microorganism present in wastewater, to decompose the organic matter present in wastewater, they require dissolved oxygen, they consume dissolved oxygen. So, higher the amount of organic matter in wastewater, greater will be the rate of decomposition. Greater will be the rate of decomposition, true. Okay, and decomposition, as you know, it is an aerobic process. So increase oxygen consumption, true. A decline, and as the microorganism consume the dissolved oxygen from water to degrade the organic matter in wastewater, ultimately there will be decline in the dissolved content of the water. This is also true. Okay, but more the amount of organic matter in wastewater, more will be the demand for dissolved oxygen. That means more will be the BOD. So BOD यहाँ पे decline दिया है, it should be BOD should be more. That means BOD should increase. Did you get my point? So this is the answer. This is the incorrect statement. ये accept दिया ना, तो इसलिए answer होगा is a decline. ये decline नहीं होगा. ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे higher the amount of organic matter will be the higher rate of decomposition and higher rate of oxygen consumption, thereby causing a drop in dissolved oxygen of the wastewater and increase in its BOD. यहाँ पे decrease in the BOD दिया है. So option number 4 is the answer. Moving on to the next question. The highest DDT concentration in aquatic. This is a question. The earlier question was also on microbes in human welfare chapter. This is a question on ecology. Ecology is very important for you. The highest DDT concentration in aquatic food chain shall occur in. So this is a question on ecology on the chapter called environmental issues, and the topic is biological magnification. So what is biological magnification? This is a question on biological magnification. The biological magnification means the phenomenon in which certain non-biodegradable pollutants like DDT, PCB means polychlorinated biphenyls, and mercury accumulate in fat-containing tissues in increasing concentration across the various trophic level of a food chain. This phenomenon को बोलता है biological magnification. Okay, and these non-biodegradable pollutants like DDT, they are liposoluble. Liposoluble means they are lipid loving. That is why they are accumulated in fatty tissues, fat containing tissues. Okay, fat containing tissues. And these substances are neither metabolized by the body nor they are excreted out of the body, and they keep on accumulating in the fat containing tissues. So DDT concentration in aquatic food chain कहाँ पे जा रहा है? फाइटोप्लैंक्टन में फैट कंटेनिंग टिश्यू एकदम नेग्लिजिबल है, क्रैब में फैट कंटेनिंग टिश्यू थोड़ा तो है, लार्ज फिश में क्रैब से ज्यादा फैट कंटेनिंग टिश्यू होगा, लेकिन कॉर्मोरेंट, ये कॉर्मोरेंट जो है, कॉर्मोरेंट्स आर ए ग्रुप ऑफ फिश ईटिंग बर्ड्स, एंड अमंग these options highest amount of fat containing tissue will be in this fish eating bird called cormorant. इसलिए DDT accumulate in fat containing tissue. So highest amount of DDT will accumulate in that organism जहाँ पे ज़्यादा fat containing tissues है. So answer will be cormorant. Okay. Can you name some other fish eating birds like kingfisher, stork, osprey? Understood? Etc. Okay, then next point. So DDT is a non-biodegradable which is liposoluble. So accumulates in fat containing tissue. Neither it is metabolized nor it is excreted out of the body. So cormorants are a group of fish-eating birds having highest concentration of fat containing tissues compared to large fish, crab and phytoplankton. So DDT concentration will be highest in what? Cormorant. So answer will be, answer for this particular question, इस question के लिए answer है option number 4. Then imbibition. So what is imbibition? Imbibition is a special type of diffusion of water from higher water potential to lower water potential. That means in imbibition, water is absorbed by solid, dry, hydrophilic plant materials, resulting in their increase of their volume. So let us, this is a question on transport in plant chapter. So imbibition is a special type of diffusion of water. It is the result of active absorption of water. ये correct था, ये wrong है. Does not depend on water. Does it depend on water potential gradient? Yes, between absorbent suppose seed and liquid to be imbibed suppose water. It depends or do not depend. It actually depend. यहाँ पे क्या दिया? Not depend. तो इसलिए wrong है. Is a type of facilitated diffusion of water. Wrong. So answer will be is a special type of diffusion of water. So answer will be option number 1. Imbibition is a special type of diffusion in which water is absorbed by dry. Everything I have written here in the solution. Go through the solution a bit later on. Moving on to the next question. The phenotypic and genotypic ratios are same in case of monohybrid test cross का phenotypic ratio क्या है? Monotypic test cross का phenotypic and genotypic ratio 1:1 है. डाइहाइब्रिड टेस्ट क्रॉस का फेनोटाइपिक एंड जेनोटाइपिक रेशियो क्या मिला था मेंडल को? 1:1:1:1. ओके, एंड F2 जनरेशन देखिए इन मोनोहाइब्रिड क्रॉस with incomplete dominance was first found in a plant called Mirabilis jalapa, that is 4 o'clock plant. The same phenomenon, the same findings, the same incomplete dominance was also found in another plant called snapdragon plant. Okay, where it was found that F2 phenotypic and genotypic ratio in monohybrid cross with incomplete dominance found to be 1:2:1. So F2 phenotypic and F2 F2 phenotypic and F2 genotypic ratio in monohybrid cross with incomplete dominance कितना मिला था 1:2:1. So this is also correct, this is also correct, this is also correct. So F2 general. So choose the correct answer from the options given below. So what will be the answer? A, B and C. A, B and C किधर है? A, B and C. So answer for this particular question will be option number 3. Option number 3. So यहाँ पे मैंने सब कुछ लिख दिया है solutions में. You go through later on. Moving on to the next question. Measure photosynthetic pigments in the members of chlorophyce. Chlorophyce means green algae. Okay. Measure photosynthetic pigments in chlorophyce क्या है? Chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. So this will be the answer. Chlorophyll D कहाँ है? Red algae में ही मिलता है. Chlorophyll C कहाँ? Chlorophyll A and C कहाँ मिलता है? Brown algae, diatoms and dinoflagellates में मिलता है. ठीक है? Fucoxanthin is a special xanthophyll found in the brown algae, giving brown shade to the brown algae. तो ये ब्राउन एल्गी, यहाँ पे तो क्लोरोफाइस ही पूछा है ना, तो इसलिए आंसर होगा मेजर पिगमेंट्स इन ग्रीन एल्गी इज क्लोरोफिल ए एंड बी. सो आंसर विल बी ऑप्शन नंबर 3. ऑप्शन नंबर 3. ओके, मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन 110. व्हिच वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज इनकरेक्टली मैच्ड? पॉलीसाइफोनिया एज यू नो इट इज ए रेड एल्गी. रेड एल्गी, ये रेड एल्गी को मैच किया है कहा? फ्लोरिडियन स्टार्स. एज यू नो इन ऑल रेड एल्गी इंक्लूडिंग कौन? Polysiphonia, the reserved carbohydrate is a modified special type of stars, modified form of stars called Floridian stars. So this is correct match. So this is correct. Okay. Kara is also the most advanced among green algae. Kara is green algae. Reserved food यहाँ पे क्या दिया? Stars. So it is true. It is also true. Correct match. True means correct match यहाँ पे. ओके, पोरफायरा इज ए रेड एल्गी. रेड एल्गी यहाँ पे क्या दिया? मेनिटॉल. मेनिटॉल इज ए की, मेनिटॉल इज ए रिजर्व फूड. मेनिटॉल इज रिजर्व फूड ऑफ ब्राउन एल्गी. ब्राउन एल्गी का रिजर्व फूड क्या है? आप लोगों को शायद याद है. तो मेनिटॉल इज द मेनिटॉल एंड लेमिनेरिन इज द रिजर्व फूड ऑफ ब्राउन एल्गी. लेकिन ये कौन है? ये है रेड एल्गी. ये है रेड एल्गी. इसलिए इट इज इनकरेक्ट मैच और करेक्ट मैच? इनकरेक्ट मैच. सो आंसर विल बी ऑप्शन नंबर 3. लेमिनेरिया तो ब्राउन एल्गी है. ब्राउन एल्गी का जो स्पेशल जेंथोफिल, ब्राउन जेंथोफिल है, उसका तो फ्यूकोजेंथिन है. ये तो करेक्ट मैच है. रॉन्ग मैच होगा ऑप्शन नंबर 3. सो ऑप्शन नंबर 3. तो मैंने यहाँ पे सब कुछ लिख दिया. तो ओके, नेक्स्ट मियोसिस. मियोसिस इन्वॉल्व्स, Meiosis is a type of cell division as you know. अच्छा, meiosis involves production of 4 haploid cell at the end of meiosis 1. At the end of meiosis 1 नहीं होना चाहिए. At the end of meiosis 1 2 haploid daughter cell are produced, not 4. At the end of ये क्या होना चाहिए? 4 haploid cell. कब 4 haploid cell are the product are formed after meiosis 2 होना चाहिए था. After meiosis 2. ओके, ये नहीं. ठीक है. Meiosis involves 2 sequential cycles of nuclear division and cell division. यहाँ पे जो cell division दिया है, a cell physically divides by cytokinesis. तो ये जो cell division word दिया है, मतलब what is represented? Cytokinesis. So meiosis involves, देखिए, first cycle in meiosis 1. Meiosis 1 involves the first cycle of nuclear division followed by first cycle of cytokinesis, which is followed by a short-lived resting period called interkinesis. उसके बाद the 2 haploid cell which are produced after meiosis 1 undergoes second round of division, and in the second round of division, that is second round of nuclear division followed by second round of cytokinesis. So meiosis involves 2 sequential cycle of nuclear division and cell division. This is true, correct. Meiosis involves only one cycle. In any type of cell division, any type of, before a cell undergoes mitosis or meiosis, there is a preparatory phase called interphase, and during S phase, DNA molecules of the nucleus, every DNA molecule of the nucleus replicates. So meiosis हो या mitosis हो, always involve one cycle of DNA replication. यहाँ पे क्या दिया? 2 cycle दिया, इसलिए wrong है. Pairing during meiosis, pairing of होमोलोगस, ये नॉन होमोलोगस नहीं, इट शुड बी होमोलोगस क्रोमोसोम। यहाँ पे क्या दिया, नॉन होमोलोगस क्रोमोसोम दिया है, इसलिए ये गलत हो गया। तो आंसर विल बी क्वेश्चन नंबर 111, ऑप्शन नंबर 2 विल बी द आंसर। Okay, meiosis involves single cycle of DNA replication and results in 4 haploid cell at the end of what? Meiosis 2. Question number 112. Morphology of chromosome is most easily studied during what phase? Answer will be metaphase. So moving, option number 4, that is moving on to the next question. Given below are 2 statements, that is in Mendelian statement 1, Mendelian dihybrid cross in F2 generation, segregation behavior of each character is same like in monohybrid cross. This is true or false? True. Why it is true? Why it is correct? Because as you know, what is the in a Mendelian dihybrid cross in F2 generation, segregation behavior of each character. Now you tell me, recall the dihybrid cross performed by Mendel with respect to seed shape and seed color. What Mendel found? Then in F2 we will consider, though it is a dihybrid cross, we will consider inheritance of each character separately. So when we consider inheritance of each character separately, that is seed shape and seed color separately, in F2 में कितना मिला कि what proportion of F2 progenies Mendel found they are having round seed shape? 12 by 16. 12 by 16 means 3 by 4. That is what seed shape? Round seed shape. And 4 by 16 F2 में तो 4 by 16 means 1 by 4 क्या मिला था? wrinkle seed shape. 1 by 4 of the 1/4 of the F2 progenies were having wrinkle seed shape. So what ratio will come? 3:1. Okay, with respect to seed shape, and with respect to seed color in F2 generation 12 by 16 मतलब 3 by 4 was having which seed color? Yellow seed color. And 4 by 16 मतलब 1/4 means क्या seed color था? Green. So what is the ratio? What is the ratio between yellow and green with respect to seed color in F2 generation? क्या मिलेगा? 3:1. So 3:1 F2 phenotypic ratio was also obtained by Mendel in all his monohybrid crosses. So the round and wrinkle seed shape in dihybrid cross also, the round and wrinkle seed shape segregated in what ratio? Segregated in the ratio of 3:1, just like in monohybrid cross. Okay, and the yellow and green seed color segregated in what ratio in F2? 3:1, which is also like monohybrid cross. So this is true. The phenomenon of independent assortment is mainly responsible for obtaining 9:3:3:1 F2 phenotypic ratio in dihybrid cross performed by Mendel. This is also true, because what is independent assortment? That means each pair of alleles in the dihybrid, in F1 dihybrid, each pair of alleles, the segregation of each pair of alleles is independent of segregation of other pairs of alleles. That means in the dihybrid, in F1 dihybrid, the 2 genes, for example, 2 genes for seed shape and the 2 genes for seed color are packaged into gametes in all possible combination. This phenomenon is called independent assortment, due to which this is the main reason as to why Mendel obtained 9:3:3:1 F2 phenotypic ratio. So both statements are true. So कहाँ है? ये option number 3 में होगा. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. So option number 3. 114. This question is related to the first chapter, that is living world. Select the incorrectly matched pair. Binomial nomenclature. It was proposed by Carolus. This C should be capital. Carolus Linnaeus. So this is correct match. Panthera is a generic name. So it is given in italics, and first alphabet is P, first letter is capital media. So it is a generic name. So it is correct. Herbarium has conserved wild plants. So this is wrong. So this will be the answer. because herbarium is a collection of, it is a storehouse of collected plant specimens that are pressed, dried and preserved, not conserved, preserved in sheets called herbarium sheets. So this is the wrong option, incorrectly made. Muscidae, Muscidae is the family of housefly, it is true. So answer will be option number 3. So moving on to the next question. So by is a pressed, dried and preserved plant specimen. Moving on to the next question. In alcoholic fermentation, pyruvate dehydrogenase converts acetaldehyde to ethanol. Pyruvate dehydrogenase enzyme, it is involved in aerobic respiration. And in aerobic respiration, pyruvate dehydrogenase enzyme converts pyruvate, that is pyruvic acid, ionized form of pyruvic acid को क्या बोलते हैं? Pyruvate. This enzyme in aerobic respiration, not anaerobic. Fermentation का दूसरा नाम है anaerobic respiration. लेकिन pyruvate dehydrogenase enzyme is involved in aerobic respiration. And in aerobic respiration, pyruvate dehydrogenase enzyme converts pyruvate to acetyl coenzyme A by a reaction mechanism called oxidative decarboxylation. So यहाँ पे क्या था? Pyruvate dehydrogenase is never involved in क्या? Fermentation. Converts. So this is wrong. Incomplete oxidation of glucose. Incomplete oxidation of glucose takes place in any fermentation, whether it is alcoholic fermentation or lactic acid fermentation. In any fermentation, there is always incomplete oxidation of the respiratory substrate. That is incomplete oxidation of glucose. So this is correct. So this is the answer. Okay. In any type of fermentation, net gain of ATP from one glucose is always 2 ATP, not 36. Not 36. Then carbon dioxide is not released. In कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इन नॉट रिलीज. एल्कोहलिक फर्मेंटेशन का प्रोडक्ट क्या है? एल्कोहलिक फर्मेंटेशन का प्रोडक्ट है इथानॉल प्लस कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड प्लस एनर्जी. तो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड तो इवॉल्व होता है, तो यहां पे क्या दिया? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इज नॉट रिलीज. सो आंसर विल बी ऑप्शन नंबर 2. ऑप्शन नंबर 2. नेक्स्ट, कॉटन वेराइटीज डू नॉट अट्रैक्ट बॉलवर्म्स. व्हिच से दुनिया में कुछ कॉटन वेराइटीज है which resistant to insects called bollworms, और उसी कॉटन वेराइटीज का मॉर्फोलॉजिकल फीचर्स है व्हाट? मॉर्फोलॉजिकल फीचर्स है having smooth leaf surface is smooth and should not possess nectar in the plant. So should have smooth leaves and should be nectarless. So answer will be option number 2. Again I am repeating, कुछ मेज वेराइटी है इस दुनिया में which is resistant to stem borers, insects called stem borers. So उसी मेज वेराइटीज का केमिकल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स क्या होता है? that resist stem borers. That is high aspartic acid content, low sugar content and low nitrogen content. Those maize varieties are resistant to what insect? Stem borers. लेकिन यहाँ पे वो cotton varieties, these cotton varieties which do not attract bollworms should have smooth, they are having smooth leaves and are nectarless. So answer for this particular question will be option number 2. ऑप्शन नंबर 2. ये जो क्वेश्चन था, ये क्वेश्चन कौन सा चैप्टर का क्वेश्चन था? ये है स्ट्रेटेजीज फॉर एनहेंसमेंट इन फूड प्रोडक्शन चैप्टर का है. अच्छा, मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट. ड्यूरिंग ऑल्टीट्यूड सिकनेस एट हाई ऑल्टीट्यूड blank increases. See, when you move to high altitude area, oxygen level becomes less. That means low oxygen. Okay. And the people at high altitude, when you go to high altitude, people start experiencing some sickness called altitude sickness. The symptoms of altitude sickness include nausea. Nausea means vomiting tendency को बोलता है nausea, fatigue, heart palpitation होता है. These are symptoms of altitude sickness. But But very soon, after some days, people stop experiencing altitude sickness by developing some physiological adaptations like increasing the RBC production, that is increasing the RBC count, then increasing the breeding rate, and decreasing the binding capacity of hemoglobin. Decreasing the binding capacity of so when binding capacity of hemoglobin for oxygen is decreased, unloading of oxygen, the rate of unloading of oxygen to the tissues becomes more. That is why the tissues are getting the normal level of oxygen, because unloading of oxygen by hemoglobin to the tissues has been made fast by decreasing the binding capacity of hemoglobin. यहाँ पे क्या दिया? Binding capacity of hemoglobin increase होता है क्या? नहीं होता है, decreasing होना चाहिए. Atmosphere, अच्छा, atmospheric pressure at high altitude low है या high atmospheric pressure low और high? Low atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure increase of altitude decreases the atmospheric pressure. इसलिए wrong है, ये भी wrong है. इसमें क्या होना चाहिए? Binding capacity of hemoglobin decreases होना चाहिए. यहाँ पे तो क्या दिया? Increase दिया है. तो breeding rate increases, ये correct है. Oxygen level at high altitude तो low है, तो इसलिए wrong है ये. So answer will be option number 3. This is a question on ecology on the chapter called organisms and population. अच्छा, this is a question on ecosystem chapter on ecology. अच्छा, man-made ecosystem means artificial ecosystem are characterized. Artificial ecosystem का characteristics क्या है? High diversity नहीं है, low diversity होना चाहिए. High productivity ये correct है. High diversity ये correct होगा. Simple food chain नहीं है, it should be simple food chain. यहाँ पे दिया है complex and there is little cycling of nutrients होता है. Complex नहीं है. So answer will be option number 2. Option 1. Can you name some artificial ecosystem? Aquarium, botanical aquarium, agricultural crop field, fishery tanks. These are artificial ecosystems. Next question. Select the incorrect statement with respect to different regions of the root. Root का 3 region है. The apical portion में क्या है? The region of meristematic activity. Behind the apical meristemity is the region of elongation, and behind the region of elongation, above the region of elongation is the region of maturation. And root has developed from the region of maturation. Okay. So the zone proximal to the region of elongation is called the region of what? Incorrect statement निकालने को दिया. The zone proximal to the region of elongation is called the region of maturation. From root has developed. True. Epidermal cells in the region of elongation forms fine root hairs. No, it should be region of maturation होना चाहिए, इसलिए ये wrong है. You have to find out the wrong statement. So this is the wrong statement. Cells of meristematic activity are small, thin wall and dense cytoplasm. Correct. Cells proximal to the region of meristematic activity are responsible for growth of length. Cells proximal to the region of meristematic means region of elongation, and region of elongation is responsible for increased growth in length of the root. So this is also true. So incorrect statement कौन है? Option number 2. So 119 option number 2. Next question. Reticulate venation is found in dicot plants, okay, and parallel venation is found in monocot plants with some few exceptions. Okay, so यहाँ पे ये डाइकॉट है, ये डाइकॉट है, and this is monocot belonging to which family? Liliaceae. And Liliaceae is a monocot family, have parallel parallel venation. लेकिन reticulate venation ये are found in all of the following except Ilium. Option number 3 will be the answer. So next question is, does not conduct water but gives mechanical support to the stem, whereas 2 involved in conduction of water and mineral. So यहाँ पे कौन सा होगा? Hardwood, as you know, it does not conduct water and minerals and gives mechanical support to the plant. And sapwood conducts water and minerals. Okay, sapwood conducts water and minerals. So answer will be option number 1. Okay. Acha, phloem does not conduct water and mineral. So answer for this particular question will be option number 1. Option number 1. So I have written here everything in the solution. Go through once later on. Bundle sheet is present. Bundle sheet is present in. Okay, bundle sheet is present in monocot stem as well as what? Dicot leaf. Dicot leaf. So answer will be option number B and D. B and D. Monocot stem and dicot leaf. Answer will be option number 4. See the solution here. Moving on to the next question. A polysome. Polysome क्या है? Polysome is a complex formed by several ribosome attached to a single mRNA molecule. तो यहाँ पे क्या था? A ribosome several ribosome attached to many mRNA नहीं होगा, many नहीं है, single mRNA होगा. So इस ऑप्शन में देखिए several ribosome attached to a single mRNA molecule. So answer for question number 123, option number 4. Okay, option number 4. Moving on to the next question. The Golgi apparatus remains in. The functions of Golgi apparatus is always coordinated with endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so Golgi apparatus remains in. That is why Golgi apparatus remains in close association is endoplasmic reticulum. True. It is the important site of synthesis of glycoproteins and what? Glycolipids. Because proteins and lipids that are synthesized in ER comes into the Golgi complex for their final modification to make glycoproteins and glycolipids. So this is true. Modifies and packages proteins for secretion. This is also true. So answer will be all of the above. All of the above. Option number 4. Next question. Identify the following statements true or false and choose the options accordingly. Okay. Powerhouse of the cell, matlab mitochondria, is a double membrane bound organelle. True. Matrix of the mitochondria has a single circular double stranded DNA. True. Infoldings of the outer नहीं, ये inner होना चाहिए, ये inner membrane होना चाहिए. Infoldings of the inner membrane of mitochondria are called cristae. Okay, and cristae increase the surface area. Okay, so infoldings of the यहाँ पे क्या है? Inner membrane होना चाहिए, outer membrane दिया. So ये wrong है. So आंसर विल बी व्हाट? ट्रू, ट्रू, फॉल्स. ये ट्रू है, ये ट्रू है. तो ट्रू, ट्रू, फॉल्स. ऑप्शन नंबर 2 होगा. 2 होगा. ऑप्शन नंबर 2. ओके. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. इन केस ऑफ मॉडिफाइड एलीली, this is a question on principles of inheritance chapter under the topic called concept of dominance. Modified, देखिए, normal allele is generally considered as the normal allele is responsible for the normal phenotype, which is the dominant allele. So when a allele or gene get modified by mutation, and if the product of the modified allele is a non-functional enzyme or protein, that modified allele is called recessive allele. And if the product of a modified allele is the same enzyme or same protein like the normal gene, then the modified allele will be considered as equivalent to the normal allele, that is dominant allele. So such type of mutations where the modified allele is equivalent to the normal allele, such type of gene mutation को बोलता है silent gene mutation, silent mutations. And silent mutations are due to silent mutation, the silent mutations are responsible for degeneracy of the genetic code. So what will be the answer? In case of the modified allele is equivalent to the unmodified allele, equivalent, then it will produce the same phenotype. This will be the answer. It will produce no, these are not answer. It will produce the non-functional enzyme. No, it will produce the functional enzyme. Produce just like the normal allele. It will produce the altered phenotype. No, it will produce the same phenotype. Okay, it will not produce any enzyme. It will produce the same functional enzyme produced by the normal allele. So answer will be option number 1. Okay. So next is, this is the solutions. Later on, the trait. Next question. Question number 127. The trait which is transmitted by crisscross inheritance. So what type of traits shows crisscross inheritance? The X-linked recessive traits. X-linked recessive traits like hemophilia, color blindness. Okay. So suppose a father is colorblind. Okay. Father is colorblind. Okay. And mother is normal. It is carrier. carriers are phenotypically normal. So look here, this father is transmitting the colorblind gene and other colorblind gene coming through the X of the mother and making this female, making this daughter colorblind. Disease कौन था? Who was suffering from colorblindness? Father. Mother तो colorblind नहीं था, ये carrier था, carrier are phenotypically normal. When a disease is transmitted by a father to her daughter, or a mother transmitting a disease to her son, this pattern of inheritance is called crisscross pattern of inheritance. And crisscross pattern of inheritance is shown by X-linked recessive trait, and which one of the, and it is involving a lacking of blood clotting protein. So which X-linked recessive disorders in human being is associated with lacking of blood clotting agent, blood clotting factor? Answer is hemophilia. Hemophilia. Color blindness is also shows crisscross pattern of inheritance, but it does not involve any absence of blood clotting factor. So answer is hemophilia. So next is your next is the question number 128. Question number 128. This is a question on pedigree analysis. यहाँ पे क्या दिया? What should be the symbol at the place of question mark so that the pedigree may justify the inheritance of genetic disorder like what? Hemophilia or maybe color blindness. Okay. Now, suppose this male is given here in the pedigree. The male is given as suffering from hemophilia. Okay. So, male is hemophilic, but the mother or the female is not having hemophilia. So, what will be the genotype of this mother? What can be the genotype of mother? Maybe pure X, or maybe carrying the hemophilic gene in one of our X chromosome. So, C may be a carrier for the hemophilic gene. Carrier for the hemophilic gene are phenotypically normal. C will not suffer from any hemophilia. But what will be the genotype of this? Genotype of this, because a female inherited one X from father, the other X from what? Mother. The other X जो mother से आ रहा है, it should be pure X, okay. It cannot be this X, because she, in that case, she will be hemophilic. But in the pedigree, she is not given as hemophilic. So, what will be the male always inherit Y chromosome from father and X from what? Mother. Which X is coming? If the genotype of this female is this X will come or this X will come. This X will come. Pure X will come. The X with hemophilic gene cannot come. Otherwise, it will become hemophilic. But in the pedigree, it is not given as hemophilic. So, what will be the genotype of this? Genotype of this will be this or maybe pure X. So, that is why not suffering. What will be the genotype of this? This or this. And what will be the genotype? If this is female, what will be the genotype? Genotype may be this or maybe this. Okay. And if it is male, what will be the genotype? What will be the genotype of this? If a female cannot be, in this case, the female cannot suffer from hemophilia because the male is not suffering. Okay. So, if it is male, its genotype may be this. If it is male, if it is a hemophilic male, then the genotype will be this. So, if the male son inherits always Y chromosome from father, and X from what? Mother. This X may be this. If it is this, male will be hemophilic. If this male inherits this X, he will be normal. So, answer will be this. Why not this? Because in this pedigree, considering this pedigree, female cannot be hemophilic. So, answer will be option number 2. Option number 2. Next is match the following and select the correct answer. This is a question on biological classification chapter. Neurospora. Neurospora belongs to Ascomycetes fungi and And in Ascomycetes fungi, the sexual spore. In Ascomycetes fungi, the sexual spore is ascospores. A2. Albugo is a Phycomycetes fungi, and the sexual spore in Phycomycetes is oospore. Then puffball is Basidiomycetes fungi, and sexual spore in Basidiomycetes is Basidiospore. So A2, B3, A2, B3 and C1. So answer will be option number 2. Okay, so here it is given here. Next is an E. coli with heavy DNA is allowed to grow in a medium containing N14 for 80 minutes. Then as you know, the generation time of E. coli is what? 20 minutes. That means after every 20 minutes, from one bacteria you get 2 bacteria. And during binary fission in bacteria, DNA replicates. And DNA replication is always semi-conservative in nature. So what would be the amount of proportion of light DNA and hybrid DNA? देखिए, what medium it has been put? The bacteria is grown in ammonium chloride medium where nitrogen of the ammonium chloride is N14. लेकिन DNA कैसा था? Heavy DNA means all the nitrogenous base, the nitrogen of all the nitrogenous bases in both the strand is N15. Fast replication के बाद क्या होगा? ये बैक्टीरिया है, ठीक है? तो these two strands separate during DNA replication, N15 और न्यू स्ट्रैंड में क्या होगा? N14 ये सेपरेट होता है, ये N15 है, तो न्यू स्ट्रैंड में क्या होगा? N14. So these are what DNA? Hybrid DNA. These are hybrid DNA, and this is the after the fast replication, after the first 20 minutes, उसके बाद नेक्स्ट जनरेशन में नेक्स्ट 20 minutes में, that means after 40 minutes you will get 4 cells, and in 2 of these cells will have light DNA, 2 will have hybrid DNA, and after 80 minutes you will get as this process occurs, after the 80 minutes you will get 16 cells. Out of these 16 cells, 14 will be having what? Hybrid DNA. 14 will be having hybrid DNA. So 14 by 16 means 87.5%. 14 by 16 will be not hybrid DNA, it will be what? Light DNA. And 2 by 16 into 100 will be what? Will be hybrid DNA. So 14 by 16 is 87.5% light DNA होगा, और 12.5% कितना होगा? 12.5% hybrid DNA होगा. So light DNA and hybrid DNA. So 87.5% and 12.5% will be the answer. So if you want the details, you come for doubt clearing. Okay. So where I will explain nicely. Okay. So due to time constraint, we have to move fast. Okay. Question number 131. Which of the following enzymes will not be synthesized in E. coli cell in which there is a frame shift mutation in LAC-Y gene of the LAC operon? See, with respect to LAC operon of E. coli, okay, there are 3 structural genes in the LAC operon: LAC-Z, LAC-Y and LAC-A. Product of LAC-Z gene is an enzyme called beta-galactosidase enzyme, and product of LAC-A gene, LAC-Y gene is an enzyme called permease, and product of LAC-A gene is an enzyme called trans-acetylase. Okay, and frame shift mutation क्या है? लेकिन ये E. coli सेल में क्या हुआ? फ्रेम शिफ्ट म्यूटेशन इज व्हाट? फ्रेम शिफ्ट म्यूटेशन व्हेन देयर इज चेंज इन 1 or 2 base pair of a structural gene, then the whole reading frame of the corresponding mRNA get altered from the point of addition or deletion. So the structural gene क्या है? LAC-Z. नेक्स्ट स्ट्रक्चरल जीन का नाम है LAC-Y और LAC-A. द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ दिस जीन इज द नॉर्मल प्रोडक्ट ऑफ दिस बीटा गैलेक्टोसिडेज एंजाइम. इसका प्रोडक्ट है परमीएज. इसका प्रोडक्ट फ्रेम शिफ्ट म्यूटेशन कौन सा जीन में हुआ है? LAC-Y में. सो बट फ्रेम शिफ्ट म्यूटेशन होने के उसका बगल वाला जीन में भी इफेक्ट होगा, तो इसका प्रोडक्ट क्या था? ट्रांस-एसिटाइलेज. सो अल्टीमेटली ड्यू टू फ्रेम शिफ्ट म्यूटेशन द formation of both permease and trans-acetylase will be affected. That means permease and trans-acetylase enzyme will not be formed. So which enzyme will be synthesized? Which enzyme will be only produced? Beta-galactosidase only. Beta-galactosidase. So answer for this particular question is option number 2. Option number 2. Option number 2. That is beta-galactosidase enzyme. Okay, I have written everything here. You just go through the solution. Which of the following is characteristics of flower is not essential in wind pollinated plants? Large feathery stigma, correct. Light and non-sticky pollen grain. Non-sticky Q? Non-sticky. This is non-sticky pollen grain because of the absence of pollen grain, correct. Well exposed stamens, correct. Nectars are also present. See, in both wind pollinated flowers and water pollinated flowers are not fragrant, not colorful and do not produce nectar. Lekin nectar is are present diya, to is not essential diya hai, to answer will be option number 4. Option number 4. Then question number 4, next question. Question number 133. Which among the following algae produces isogametes? So, this shows oogamy, this shows oogamy, this shows oogamy, but this shows isogamy. So, answer will be cladophora. So, option number 2. Option number 2. Next question, 134. This is the sigmoid curve, and in sigmoid growth curve, for geometric growth, so क्या होगा this A is lag phase. A will be lag phase. This is the exponential phase called log phase. Log phase, and this is the what phase? This is the stationary phase. A is lag phase, B is log phase, C is stationary phase. So lag phase, log phase, stationary phase. Option number 3 will be the answer. Option number 3. Next question. Select the country with respect to biogas production. Biogas plants are more built at rural places. True. Incorrect statement निकलना होगा. Incorrect. Methanogens grow. ये aerobically नहीं, anaerobically होगा. Anaerobically. इसलिए wrong है. False. Biogas is highly inflammable and can be used for cooking purpose. True. In India, it is mainly developed due to the efforts of Indian Agricultural Research Institute and Khadi and Village Industries Commission. True. So, wrong, incorrect कौन है? ये है option number 2. Option number 2. Moving on to the next question. Number of phosphodiester bond in a double-stranded DNA is, number of phosphodiester bond कितना दिया? 1620. Phosphodiester, number of phosphodiester bond in a double-stranded DNA is always equal to total number of bases और total number of nucleotide -2. लेकिन यहाँ पे phosphodiester bond इतना दिया, total number of nucleotide कितना होगा? +2. तो कितना होगा total number of nucleotides in the DNA, in the whole DNA? 1 2 1 6 2 2. Then number of क्या? Total number of total bases और nucleotides. Total bases और nucleotides. तो base pair कितना होगा? एक base pair में 2 निकल. So divided by 2 करने से कितना होगा? 811 will be the number of base pair होगा. Number of base pair निकलने को दिया. Number of base pair 811 will be the answer. लेकिन मैं अलग तरीके से दिखाया. Number of phosphodiester bond in double stranded DNA is even given. Since the number of base pairs in DNA in the N, then number of phosphodiester bond is 2 into N. तो ये देख लीजिए. तो ये अलग तरीके से मैं सॉल्यूशन दे दिया, लेकिन सिंपल तरीके ये है. ओके, नेक्स्ट is question number 137. In the most ecosystem, the pyramids of biomass, pyramid of number, energy and biomass are upright. Since option number 1, producers are more in number and more in biomass than herbivores. True. Herbivores are less in number. Herbivores are not less. Herbivores are always what? More होना चाहिए. More in number and biomass than the carnivores. So ये false है. ये not true. Energy at lower tropic level is always higher, more than energy at higher tropic level. True. So क्या होगा? True, false, true. True, false, true. That means A and C are correct. A and C will be the answer. A and C. So option number 3. Okay. Then question number at present, the percentage of all bird species that are world facing threat of what? Extinction. It is, answer is 1. 32% क्या है? ये होगा amphibians और ये होगा gymnosperm. ये किसके लिए है? Mammals के लिए है. तो ये है आंसर. Birds कितना facing extinction? It is 12%. 12%. Okay. Next question. Question number 139. Which of the following statements is in and select the correct option? Statement A, male and female gametophytes do not have free living independent existence in pteridophytes. No, male and female gametophytes, majority of the pteridophytes are homosporous. And in homosporous pteridophyte, देखिए होमोस्पोरस टेरिडोफाइट में और ओवरऑल टेरिडोफाइट में हेटेरोस्पोरस टेरिडोफाइट में मेल एंड फीमेल गेमेटोफाइट इनिशियली डेवलप्ड इन द स्पोरोफाइट, दैट इज मेन प्लांट बॉडी, बट finally they fall to the ground and live a free living independent existence. But in gymnosperm and angiosperm, both male and female, which are exclusively heterosporous, gymnosperm and angiosperm are exclusively heterosporous, where male and female gametophyte do not have free living independent existence. Okay, and are dependent on the parent sporophytic parent. So the male and female gametophyte and homosporous pteridophyte do not have free living. So this is false. All gymnosperm are heterosporous. True. So statement A is false, B is true. So only statement B is correct will be the answer. Option number 2 will be the answer. Next question. Next question is photosystem 2. This is a question related to photosynthesis. Photosystem 2 is found in the inner side of the thylakoid membrane. That means inner surface of the thylakoid membrane. Inner surface of thylakoid membrane means lumen side of the thylakoid membrane. No, and photosystem 2 is associated with photolysis of water. Because photosystem 2 is associated with the water splitting complex, also called oxygen evolving complex. Not associated with photolysis of water? False. It is not correct. Okay. Found in the inner side of thylakoid membrane? True. ये आंसर है. Involved in both cyclic and non-cyclic photosynthesis. No, photosystem 2 is involved only in what? Non-cyclic, not in cyclic. Okay, that is why it is false. Found in the stroma side of the thylakoid membrane. Wrong. ये wrong और ये wrong है. So answer will be option number 2. Option number 2. Option number 2. Next. Select the incorrect statement with respect to humus. Humus is dark colored, amorphous, slightly acidic. Correct. Colloidal, slightly, it is also colloidal in nature. Correct. Is humus raw material of decomposition? No. Raw material of decomposition is detritus. Detritus, the dead organic matter. Detritus is the raw material for decomposition, not the humus. So this is incorrect statement. This is an odd one out. Humus is a reservoir of nutrients. It is correct. So incorrect statement, that is odd one out, will be option number 3. Option number 3. So next question, moving on to the next question. A biologist studied the population of fishes in a pond. He found that the average natality means total number of new birds. The total number of birds कितना हुआ? 500. Average mortality कितना दिया? Death कितना? Number of deaths कितना? 480. Immigration means number of individuals added into the population coming from elsewhere else. That is immigration. Immigration means बाहर जाना of the same species. So then population density क्या होगा? Population density देखिए एक population density is given by an equation that is B means birth rate, okay, or total number of birds, birth plus immigration minus number of deaths plus immigration. Birds कितना दिया है? Birds दिया है 500. Immigration कितना दिया है? Immigration 40 minus D कितना दिया है? 480. Immigration कितना दिया है? 60 immigration. तो कितना हो गया? ये 540. ये भी कितना होगा? 540. तो कितना हो गया? 0. So answer is 0. ये है आंसर. Okay. Option number 3. 0. Okay, children. Okay. Then next is your Next question is 143. Fruits are developed from monocarpellary superior ovary and are one-seeded. Okay. So answer for this mono and one-seeded. One-seeded, ye to many-seeded fruit. Ye many-seeded fruit. Ye many-seeded fruit. Answer will be coconut. Coconut is a drupe fruit where endocarp is hard and stony, and it develops from the superior ovary of a monocarpellary gynoecium. Okay, and these are one-seeded fruit. So answer will be 2. Option 2. Next question. Select the incorrect match from the following. Sclerids found in tea leaves. Correct. Colenchyma do not have lignin. Lignin नहीं है कोलेनकाइमा में. कोलेनकाइमा का सेल वॉल में क्या है? सेलुलोज, हेमिसेलुलोज एंड पेक्टिन है. लिग्निन नहीं है, बिल्कुल नहीं है. तो पेरेन्काइमा फंक्शन, मेन फंक्शन ऑफ पेरेन्काइमा इज स्टोरेज ऑफ फूड. करेक्ट. सो ये रॉन्ग है. अच्छा, स्क्लेरेन्काइमा गिव्स मैकेनिकल सपोर्ट. करेक्ट है. सो व्हिच इज द इनकरेक्ट मैच? आंसर इज ऑप्शन नंबर 2. ऑप्शन नंबर 2. देन क्वेश्चन organelle that can occupy 90% of the volume of a plant cell is sap vacuole. Sap vacuole. Okay, and sap vacuole का जो membrane है उसका नाम है, it is selectively permeable membrane called tonoplast. Okay, sap vacuole store water, some ions, several ions plus excretory products. Okay, and the membrane is tonoplast. And it is a selectively, tonoplast is a selectively permeable, contains nucleic acid and digesting enzyme. False. Wrong. Store food mainly. False. Okay. It does sap vacuole store food like protein, carbohydrate and lipids? No, not at all. It stores mainly excretory products. It is bounded by a membrane called toroplast. This is correct. It is involved in photosynthesis? Bilkul nahi. So answer will be option number 3. Okay, option number 3. Next question. Son to be colorblind. A son to be colorblind. देखिए, ए सन टू बी कलर ब्लाइंड. मदर का ए सन कलर ब्लाइंड बना दिया. ठीक है. फादर क्या होना था? ए सन ऑलवेज इनहेरिट्स वाई क्रोमोसोम फ्रॉम व्हाट? फादर. वाई क्रोमोसोम फ्रॉम फादर एंड एक्स फ्रॉम मदर. तो मदर क्या होना पड़ेगा? मदर हैज टू बी एटलीस्ट ए कैरियर होना पड़ेगा. मदर का जीनोटाइप ये होना पड़ेगा. ये हो सकता है. son to be become color blind because son is male always inherit x chromosome from mother. Okay, and color blind gene is linked to X chromosome. So mother का nature क्या होगा? Maybe carrier are phenotypically normal with respect to color vision, and this is तो color blind ही बना दिया. तो ये X कहाँ से आया? यहाँ से आया, mother से आया. और अगर इसका जीनोटाइप है, एक X तो इधर आएगा. ठीक है? तो ये color blind. So mother has to be at least a carrier. Did you get my point? So the must be color blind. Color blind father होने से कोई फायदा नहीं है क्योंकि ये son is male always inherit Y from father. तो फादर कलर ब्लाइंड हो या ना हो ये इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. ठीक है. द मदर हैज टू बी कैरियर और शी शुड बी कलर ब्लाइंड और शी मे बी कलर ब्लाइंड. मदर हैज टू बी एटलीस्ट ए कैरियर और मे बी कलर ब्लाइंड. मस्ट बी हैव नॉर्मल व्हाट मदर एंड कैरियर फादर. कैरियर फादर जैसा चीज इस दुनिया में नहीं है. अच्छा, मस्ट हैव अनएफेक्टेड पेरेंट्स. मस्ट हैव मास्क लिया है, मास्क नहीं. कैन हैव अनएफेक्टेड पेरेंट्स. ये तो अनएफेक्टेड पेरेंट होगा ना, लेकिन मास्क दिया है इसलिए आंसर नहीं है. सो कैन हैव ए कैरियर मदर एंड ए नॉर्मल व्हाट फादर. कैन हैव ए कैरियर मदर एंड ए नॉर्मल फादर. सो दिस विल बी द आंसर, मोस्ट अप्रोप्रिएट आंसर. ऑप्शन नंबर 146. क्वेश्चन नंबर ऑप्शन 4. क्वेश्चन नंबर 146 ऑप्शन नंबर 4 इज द आंसर. ठीक है. ओके. क्वेश्चन नंबर 147. Question number 147. Energy releasing metabolic process in which substrate is oxidized without an external electron acceptor. External. Now in aerobic respiration, the external electron acceptor is oxygen. So aerobic respiration always occurs in the presence of oxygen, and oxygen is the final acceptor of electron that comes to the electron transport system and get reduced to water after accepting proton from the mitochondrial matrix. So oxygen is the external electron acceptor. Who is the external electron acceptor? Oxygen, external electron what? Acceptor. So oxygen is involved in aerobic respiration in plants. Correct. ये true है. True. Aerobic respiration in animals. Oh, sorry, children. In which substrate is oxidized without their external acceptor. यहाँ पे external acceptor involved. External oxygen involved. Who is the external acceptor? Oxygen involved. ऑक्सीजन इन्वॉल्व, यहाँ पे भी ऑक्सीजन इन्वॉल्व, यहाँ पे फर्मेंटेशन मीन्स एनारोबिक रेस्पिरेशन, ऑक्सीजन नॉट इन्वॉल्व एंड ऑक्सीजन इज द एक्सटर्नल इलेक्ट्रॉन एक्सेप्टर इन एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन, नॉट इन फर्मेंटेशन. आंसर विल बी ऑप्शन नंबर 4. ऑप्शन नंबर 4. यहाँ पे सब कुछ लिख दिया है. एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन एंड एनारोबिक रेस्पिरेशन आर एनर्जी रिलीजिंग मेटाबॉलिक प्रोसेस, एक्सटर्नल इलेक्ट्रॉन एक्सेप्टर इन एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन इन प्लांट्स, एनिमल्स एंड माइक्रो. ऑक्सीजन. Okay, next question. Which of the following biocontrol agent is used to control butterfly caterpillar? So trichoderma is used to control several plant pathogens. Ladybird is a beetle that is used to, it is used as a biocontrol agent to control aphids, and dragonfly is used as a biocontrol agent to control mosquitoes. But Bacillus thuringiensis, a soil bacteria, is used to control what? Butterfly caterpillar. So answer for question number 148, option number 3. Then option number 3. Then question number 149. Read the following statements and state which one is true and which one is false. Continued cross pollination leads to inbreeding division. ये cross pollination नहीं होना चाहिए, तो होना चाहिए क्या? Self pollination होना चाहिए. So इसलिए false है. ठीक है, ये false है. Then in grasses single shield shaped lateral cotyledon is called scutellum. True, ये correct है. Apple is a true fruit. Apple is not true fruit. It is a false fruit because apple fruit develops exclusively from the thalamus of the flower and ovary remains underdeveloped. When a fruit develops from do not develop from ovary, that is ovary remain underdeveloped, any other part of the flower, maybe thalamus, maybe sepal, maybe perianth, maybe calyx, take part in forming the fruit. Such fruits are called false fruit. And apple is a false fruit because it develops exclusively from thalamus, not from the ovary. So this is false. Apples is a false fruit. Okay, यहाँ पे true fruit दिया है. So क्या होगा? False, true, false. False, true, false कहाँ है? False, true, false. Option number 4 में है. False, true, false. Also answer is option number 4. ठीक है? Last question for this paper. All are the physiological effects or auxin, physiological effects or uses of auxin in flowering plants except physiological effects. Physiological effect means natural effect of auxin. Uses means practical application. So is auxin involved in apical dominance? Yes, true. Inhibition of fruit and leaf drop at early stage but promotes abscission means falling of mature older leaves and true. Promotes bolting in plants promotes bolting in plants having rosette habit. This is done by not by auxin, this is done by PGR, plant growth regulator called zebarellic acid, not auxin. So physiology except दिया है, except, तो ये है exception. It is not related to auxin activity. ठीक है? Synthetic auxin 2,4-D are widely used as herbicide to kill dicot weeds. True, very true. Okay, so which is the wrong statement here? Option number 3. So यहाँ पे except पूछा है. So answer is option number 3. So that's it, children. Thank you very much. We will again meet in the next test. Take care. Bye.